Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with MechFansToys Emitter, and this is Blaster. It's a KO oversized Magic Square version, also called Advanced, the MF-49. And I got this from Show Z, and you can get yours there too. I'll link it down below. But I think this is the best blaster on the market so far. Let's get right into it. Go ahead and take a quick look at the box, and it just looks like simple MechFansToys kind of box. You've got blaster on the front, you've got advanced, emitter, MechFansToys little symbol there. Says it right there. The side, you can tell that you have the boombox. Other side is boombox. You have some, okay, you want to pause and read that? Go ahead. And on the back, you show pictures and pictures and more pictures and what's going on. So yeah, there you go. So this is an excellent looking version of a blaster for a Legends scale, and it just looks good. I mean, you can tell it's blaster. It homages the tune, it homages the toy itself, and yeah, there's a lot of cool features with it. So we're gonna get right into all of that, but I wanna show you that, so that's cast in a darker gray, and I don't know if that's cast in a darker gray and glued on or just painted. But we see some silver paint here and down here, and we see some like reflective pink paint there. I put that sticker on myself, professionally applied. And looking down below, that's what it looks like below. From the back, now I took your advice, guys, and checked out the first version of this guy, which is the Magic Square. And nobody showed weapon storage, so that's my homemade weapon storage. Alright, so let's get into some comparisons real quick. So a quick comparison here. So this is the MechFansToys versus the what I think is the first MechFansToys. I think Mr. Moon is part of MechFansToys, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, this guy's a little bit taller and more narrow, and this is wider and shorter and more accurate, so we'll see. And here it is next to an actual G1, and I gotta say that I had this blaster as a kid and I loved it. It was a cool figure. I liked the look and the feel of the Soundwave better, but the blaster, I actually had a boombox that looked, you know, sort of like this, so I liked it a lot. But yeah, I mean, it really harkens the G1 toy, and the G1 toy was what the show was based on, and yeah, looks good. Here this is compared to MechFansToys Hound and the official Hasbro Sea Spray, so you can kind of get a look at that and see it from some different angles. And Hot Rod's gonna get a little bit of love there.
Yo, Soundwave, you need to step up into the 80s and get into the modern era. Start talking in stereo. What are you talking about? I speak with the greatest sound. My acoustics from the waves coming out of my voice are the greatest. Yeah, but you speak in mono. Hey, at least talk in hi-fi or something. What do you mean? I speak in multiple channels.
Yo, Soundwave, quit messing around with these auto losers. The PlayStation 4 just got a new update, and you can use high dynamic range.
Did you say high dynamic range? I've been waiting for that for over 30 years now.
What's high dynamic range?
All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. So it's a pretty simple transformation. First thing I'm gonna do is take the guns out of my self-made storage area, set them aside. I'm gonna disconnect this top piece and fold the legs down. We're gonna work on one leg at a time. So we're gonna go ahead and pull out the foot, fold this piece here up, and close it. And when you close it, you'll see that it can tab into here. So there's a little spot there for it to tab into. Tabs into there. And you fold this guy up. And you gotta do the foot now. So this foot, you're gonna fold the toe around, bring it down, and then lift the toe up. So you got one leg done. Let's do the other side. Bring the foot out, like that. Flip it around. You can bring it up. Fold the bottom piece up. Tab it in. And fold this up. Now we have the legs pretty much done. Let's go ahead and lift up this butt flap piece. Twist the butt flap piece around. And set it back down. Now, just need to position the arms correctly. There we go. And we need to get the head out. So I'm going to open this up, pull the head out, and the head's just going to rest in that crevice. Maneuver it just right. And here we go. So this is a pretty good looking figure right here. The one thing I want to say about it is I don't like this. I feel like the fact that we had all this going on, there should have been a way for them to engineer this whole piece to go in there. And I don't see why they couldn't do that. This whole piece should have been able to engineer to go in there. And then we could have just extended this piece all the way through it. I really think that would have been for a better look if they just could have made it recess in there, or maybe one more fold to fold in there. I don't know. But either way, that's my biggest complaint about the entire figure, is just that piece detracting from the entire look. But let's go ahead and have a look at the paint. Looking at the face looks pretty good. The eyes are painted blue, the face is painted white. Going down, you can see the tape in his chest, and he's got the buttons, and I've seen people like fold their buttons down all the way. If you press down on this, they have a tight tolerance, it opens it up. I don't know if that's the way Magic Squares was or not, but it works on this one. So coming down here, he's got a pretty clean waist area. He's got paint right there on the hips. He's got no paint on the thighs, paint on those pieces. Got some nice shiny silver paint right here. And I still don't know if this is paint or just colored that just glued on, plastic pieces glued on, but maybe it's paint. We have silver paint right here. And from the back, he's pretty clean in the back too. So yeah, the figure does look good. Let's go ahead and have a look at his guns. So he has these two guns. Now this one has a little bit of paint right here, which is kind of a gunmetal, bit of a gunmetal look to it. And then we have a clear one. With the exact same gun, one's clear for whatever reason. Hey, I'll take an extra accessory, it doesn't bother me. Looking at his articulation, you have the head goes up a lot, all the way around, not much down. And then you have 360 on the arm. You have a ball joint so you can get everything you want, and it is tight. This is tight. The tolerances are so good. You have the swivel right here and the bicep swivel, and then you have a double jointed elbow, if you can see that. So like everything you could possibly imagine, and you can twist the arm, and you have the little finger for the ability to eject himself. Yeah, go eject yourself. Anyway, moving on down, you have all the way up here, and you know, in true fashion, all of these MechFansToys figures can stand with like a high kick or whatever kick you want to pose you want to put. They are that well toleranced, they can do that. If that's something you want to do, you push the butt flap, you get 90 degrees to the back. You've got the thigh swivel, you have the knee bend, but it's not a double jointed knee, which I don't think it needs a double jointed knee. And you have
toes rock forward, and you got ankle rocker. So it works. It gets the job done. Good articulation, good looking figure.
So take a quick look at his included cassette, which is ram horn. But real quick, I want to show you the inside here. So I did see that the original Magic Square, you could actually see his head. When he's transformed, his head would be down there. Well, you can't see his head because they included a chamber, and it's pretty well detailed. Looks like there's a tape cassette in there, or even the parts that turn the cassette. So yeah, you got the innards of a cassette player, which is pretty cool. What an upgrade. Here is ram horn with a very simple, almost Masterpiece-esque, kind of like something they would do on a Masterpiece figure. No, not the KFC ram horn, no. Anyway, here is this guy. And yeah, he's little. But he's bigger than these other cassettes. Let's do some comparison. So he's upsized a bit. Here he is compared to some other cassettes. And, you know, these are ones from other figures down the road. And if you kind of put them up, he might actually fit. So he is way more than double the thickness, which you would think he'd only be double the thickness. And, you know, aside from that head sticking out there, he's wider. So yeah, this thing would not be compatible with anything else, Soundwave or any other of those figures. And they went ahead and painted this guy, so you have some silver there, you have some black painted in there. Well, not too bad overall for such a little figure. Looking pretty good. Go ahead and do a heavy level of comparisons for this guy. So this is the Hot Soldiers Soundwave, which, you know, I think that's a subsidiary of MechFansToys. MechFansToys. And then we have the Mr. Moon, which I also think is a subsidiary of them because they use the same mold. Like these two are the same mold that are just slightly switched around and changed around a little bit. Just slight variations. But as you can see, this one's bigger. The K oversize of the Magic Square is a little bit bigger. And I think it looks good. I think it looks great. And I think he should be a little bit bigger than Soundwave. That's just kind of the way it's always been. Here he is next to Prime and Magnus. And of course, he's taller than Prime. And that's the Magic Square Prime. But he's shorter than Magnus, which is the MechFansToys Magnus. And he's shorter than the Magic Square Magnus too. But he's just right, I think. Like, this setup is perfect. Here he is amongst a group of his closest friends. And if you notice, everything here is a MechFansToys figure. All of these. I mean, that's Mr. Moon. It's the only Perceptor I know of too, so. But they all look good together. They're scaled well. I think maybe Springer's a bit small out of all of this, but that's not his fault. But yeah, Springer's pretty cool too. These are all great figures. It looks good on a shelf. And here he is next to the original source material, the G1 toy himself. And as you can see, one of my biggest hangups is this piece right here that shows, but it is a bit of an homage to the G1 toy. So if you want to look at it like that, you can. So that's that. And then I would actually go as far as to say his hips are just a little bit too wide, but those are very minor complaints. I mean, that's nitpicking. This is a good figure. And yes, it homages G1 very well. Now for the $130 question, would he make a good upscale to a Masterpiece? So right now, the best Masterpiece version on the market, which is the only Masterpiece version on the market, is KFC's Transistor. And let's look at a few things. First of all, Transistor has this nice shine and sheen to him. I like that. I like the glossy one better. And a lot more paint apps and stuff. But I mean, that could be taken care of if it was upsized. If you look at the side profile, there is quite a bit of kibble on here, which makes for a cleaner boombox mode. And you know, he's cleaner right here on the arm. But the lower leg's not as clean. I think that leg's a bit cleaner. They actually protrude back the same. Looking at the back of them, which I don't know if I've got that right, but looking at the back, overall this one is a little bit cleaner. Like if this was upscaled, would it work? Would it replace Transistor? I don't know. I think Transistor has a better overall profile in my opinion,
and I would just narrow up them hips a bit, and I think they could do it because they use that faux flap. It would work fine. They could be able to do that. It wouldn't be a problem. And then they could oversize it and make it a MP. Hey, what do you think on that? So I want to say that this is an awesome figure and my favorite blaster of all my blasters that I have for the Legends scale. And with a couple of minor things such as the kibble on the side of the legs and my belief that the hips are just a little bit too wide, that is nothing compared to how awesome this is with great articulation, excellent aesthetic, nails the character, the plastic and the quality, the tolerances, it's tight, the joints are so tight that you don't need ratchets, and they don't put ratchets in this small. Great release by MechFansToys, and excellent engineering by Magic Square. I'm not going to give all the credit to MechFansToys because they did not engineer or design it. Anyway, let me know what you think about this character and this figure. Like, subscribe, and Tidy Maker out.